them and thought, oh my word, what's that all about? So I'm keeping my tanks away from those rocket troops, look, as best I can.
Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game on Timian map, and this is my first game of the day. So I'd only just got up, had my breakfast, and thought I'd put on an early game. I'm using Russia, my opponent's using Ukraine for this one. We're on Timian map, the new 2022 version. So it's a neatened Timian with the old signs and bits and pieces missing, removed that weren't needed, and the oil derricks are at full health now. So that's the difference. I've trained my engineer straight away, and my first few rifles I send to intercept my opponent's engineer, and then after I've trained 3 and sent them on a little mission, I then reinforce my oil derrick here, which is the second one. But your engineer, while you're doing this and telling your rifles to capture things, don't let your engineer just stand there. Make sure you order him to capture the oil derrick before he reaches it, then you're not wasting valuable seconds. Now look, my opponent's engineer is here. He's slightly ahead of mine, but he hasn't captured his first oil derrick, that's why. So that's strange, I didn't expect him to do that, although I am preparing to attack as if he's here. Now, if only I'd have sent 2 guys. Damn, that's a shame. Look, he's doing the same. Nice. Nice little move. He's very close to killing my engineer. But look. Oh, look. It's a shame that. I didn't catch him out, but it was well protected. Well done. We both protected our engineer. And so you should. Like, you know, it's a pain. But he hasn't captured this one. He hasn't captured his closest oil derrick. He must be doing that now. No, he hasn't ordered it to. Maybe he set a shift command and messed it up, and he just hasn't noticed. It's possible. Now, I've sent him there in case the engineer is going between these two. Although he shouldn't be at this point in the game. It looks like he's realised. And then he's ordered him to capture the oil derrick and go on one heck of a mission to capture mine and carry on past. So we'll see if he makes it that far, shall we? Place your bets now, because I'm betting he gets diverted. The player is not that bad. This player's better than that. So that's my bet, that the engineer doesn't end up going all that way. If he does, he'll get shot by him unless I move him, but, you know, I can't remember, I don't know what happened to him. So, like I say, place your bets now. But my opponent is taking this oil derrick, he's taking the closest one, so we'll have 2 each in a moment. There we go, now we're on 2 each. I've placed my war factory, I'm about to have my APC roll out. Let's just have a look at the small army values. 5,600 to me, 3,500 to my opponent. Normally I would attack here and capture that, and this time I would be able to capture it because my opponent has no scout vehicle. But I didn't know that, I'm assuming he has. So I'm sending my engineer to safety. There's my opponent, so he's still on his mission. Mine went down here out of the way somewhere. Now, 5,700 to me, 4,500 to my opponent. And here we are, there's an enemy scout vehicle, he's got a flak truck. And I've killed his engineer with my APC. Very, very nice. And that's a Gren drop, by the way. I've got these guys being kept busy by my little, what he might assume is a raid here. So he's got to investigate. And the gunfire from this rifle guard will be covered up by that. You see, he's busy attacking here. So my grenadier drop has made it okay. He's made it undetected. So just have a look at his power supply. Here we go. I've dropped off 5 grenadiers. They're launching. And that's 1 power plant taken out. And he's attacking my oil derrick. And he's placed a base defense straight away. Oh, it didn't quite make it. That's a shame. Didn't quite destroy that. Now he's built another power plant. So the repair of this is probably going to fix up his power situation. He's in low power for the time being, though. So I gained some small advantage out of that. And the thing is, I built those 5 grenadiers and at a crucial time that interfered with my spending. Now, my opponent's still at low power, so it's not bad. It was probably worth it, I think. Let's just have a look at army values. I'm at 6,400. My opponent's at 5,900. 6,200. We're about 6,400 each. So I've expanded here, which is a sort of out of the way placement. But that's I shouldn't really do that. I usually place it here, and I should have done this time. I just didn't feel that I had enough assets to protect it there, so I thought I'd go for a shady placement instead. But was equal army value, 7,500 each. And my opponent's first expansion's moving out, so that's his power problems probably delaying in there. Now he's recovered, and he's building his first expansion. My opponent's at 9,700, I'm at 8,000, so he's overtaken me in army value. And his flak truck has found my MCV and is not letting me deploy. And these flak trucks are lethal against MCVs. If there was 3 flak trucks, that would be dead now. So here he comes. I was expecting this. We're at 10 grand army value each, and I've setting that up. I should have repaired it immediately. And I'm keeping my troops deployed close to my structures, although they are a bit forward, but that's because of my refinery placement. I should be on this side, to be fair. Right, we're at 12,000 each. 13,000 each. I'm trying to bring tanks forward to give me a stronger screening force, because he might hit me with his entire army. I didn't know. Any units, I'd had some here and they've been killed, so that's why I'm placing base defences as best I can. I should have moved these guys back. All of them back. Bait him in with ore trucks if I have to. Let him take 1 or 2 and bait his army in. But I wasn't, you know, certain. He sent a small force this way. That's quite a nice little nice idea. But I'm sending units trying to intercept any attacks, and he's sent a little probing force to attack. We're still at 17. We're at still equal, 17 each. 17 and a half. Now this tank has discovered my vulnerable construction yard that is not being repaired. So I've sent a few forces, but I'm aware that I cannot leave this undefended, and he's chosen the perfect time to attack because he knows I'm bringing forces away. And I thought, right, I've got to move back here, but then straight away I'm sending these back and my build production radius, and I've got an attack force here ready to hit him at the same time. And it's okay, my forces are alright, but there's too many infantry there. But my position's good. My position is good. And, oh geez, look at the flamethrowers. You need to be careful there, mate. Don't douse your own MCV in napalm. And I'm hitting him here, and he knows. So that's why he's recalled everything. Now, our army values, I'm at 15,000, he's at 17. So this is a crucial moment. I'm killing his construction yard over here, because I've caught him, and I'm trying to bring tanks for screening units, but I know I'm in trouble. I'm moving these away, and the tanks, they're all ordered to regroup, look. But they're not going to make it. Not even a single man. No one's in low power. My opponent's got 19,000 army value. I've got 10,000, so I'm in trouble. But I noticed I've overrun him here. And I thought, right, I've been overrun, look. I'm in trouble. But I thought, I'm attacking. I'm going to smash his home base instead. I thought, and just try and stop him here. And I didn't have enough luck. I'm trying desperately to place flame towers and keep tanks in front of them. Look, they've done the job there. Very nice. Now let's see, it's just... Look, get the tanks need to be in front of the flame towers. Hurry up. Now he's still got 1 tank left. I've got tanks here. This is good. I've still got build radius. I'm trying to bring these tanks to make a stand here, look, protect my service depot and that, but he's moved away into the perfect location, and this is my attack. I've punched through here, but I'm busy defending. Right, got rid of that. Got rid of that. We're both in low power. Damn it. Look at that. And I knew I was being hit by defences. I was trying to use that to screen, but I thought, I can't destroy his conyard, it's lost. But now I thought, right, I can take this out, but he's got this force here, and it's the one that moved around this side, and it's got my conyard. So here, I can stop these guys, but I'm losing a conyard. My opponent's replaced his, and this force here had to run. And now I realise that I've been gutted. I can't build vehicles, and my economy is in serious trouble. Now my opponent's is as well, but he's got a far stronger economy. Look, he's got 5 ore trucks just along that side, still mining. And he's got a fresh ore patch he's in control of. Now I fought him off here at my base, although I haven't defeated his army, but it's left me crippled. Let's look at the economy. Yep, we're both out of money, but my opponent can keep building, because he's got ore trucks harvesting. Me, I haven't. I've got 1. So that's what's done it. Now I'm in a state where I'm reacting to my opponent, trying to protect assets that aren't going to help me in the long run. If I don't defend this, I'm done. I've got my only ore truck here, my only construction yard, so that's why I moved this way. But these guys moving back tricked me. They didn't trick me exactly, but I expected them here, look. And now my opponent has got enough forces where he can pick and choose where to attack, and if I do defend it, he can just back away. He can hit and run. He knows he's got the game. He knows he's done it. He's lucky. No, no, fair play to him. He beat me fair and square, but I don't know. It's just that attack here was too large. If I'd have had an extra 20, 30 troops, you know, I could have done it. In fact, I could have done it if I'd have just, you know, my attention was split. You know, both our attentions were split. And here we are, look, I've got my MCV here. I'm still trying to make a fight of it, look. Using structures for view range, trying to take out my enemy's vehicles. But he's got 4 heavy tanks, look. I'm getting chopped up in the meantime, and that's that. There's my army. It's gone. 0 army value. And that's the end of that, folks. I've called it now. I've called it, told him well played, and this was my first game of the day, so give me a break on this, on the mistakes I made. I was sleepy and all that. I hadn't woken up properly, so let me off. But I'll go through the army graphs and stats, because it was, you know, for a first game, it was alright, because, you know, it kind of wakes you up, and it's good practice when it's a difficult first game like that. So, yeah, my opponent's army graph, it's fairly equal with mine until we get to this point. Now, we both lose a bit of army value, but my opponent continues and grows up there. It's like this. If you can't see it on screen because of his colour, then there's the army graph. It goes there, look, like that. Whereas mine just drops off, look. So there it shows a clear picture of what happened after the combat started. Although earnings graph, my earnings were better than my opponent from minute 6 to minute 9. I couldn't take advantage of it. I'd taken too many losses to my economy, too many ore truck losses. My opponent's finishing army, he's got about 7 heavy tanks, and about roughly 100 infantry. And here's the combat chart. I killed 151 units, my opponent killed 238. He has a 21,000 army value, so I wasn't completely overwhelmed. I lost 32 structures, my opponent lost 8. There you go. Support powers, none are in effect. Production, yeah, he's building another war factory. Why not? Yeah, why not? And economy, I've got a bit of cash left. I earned 73,000, my opponent earned 80, so we were close in economy, but he's got 6 ore trucks, look. That's enough to well and truly overpower me when I had 1. I was beaten before that point anyway, because like I say, it turned into me reacting, and after my attack on his base was over, it was over. And his attack on my base was far more effective, and he's still got his army left, so that's what did it. I should probably have brought that army back and used it to defend my base and tried to get on equal terms again with him. But I did like the Gren drop early, it did work, kept him in low power for a bit, so, you know, some value to that. But I was at 32 actions per minute, my opponent was at 41. There you go. I'm going to add a second game onto this one, just so it's a bit more of a substantial post, because it wasn't a very long battle, this one. So here, I'll go straight to the next replay. Here we go, and this was the second game of the day, and I got straight into another game on the same map. And in this game, I'm using Russia, and my opponent is using England for this one. So I'll probably go in the standard route of sending out engineers. And the thing, not engineers, of sending out rifles first. But with this map, because that's so close, and I often make an engineer first. And I think I am in this case, yeah. And even if the opponent doesn't, it doesn't make a massive difference. It looks like this guy might be. Took a while. Yeah, so he's sent an engineer, but he's sending it to his closest one like me. Now, the first rifles I train are to hunt the enemy's engineer. You know, on certain maps where it's important to get to your oil derrick immediately, say if there's an oil derrick in the centre, it's important to make sure the first infantry are the first things trained and they get to the centre as soon as possible, because it's the contestable oil derrick. And that can often dictate the terms of the game as it goes on if you take that. And the enemy is then at a slight disadvantage, you can continue and build on that. So a central contestable oil derrick is often, it's important you get there quickly. But here we are, we're both going for this one, and we've arrived at the same rate, except I'm an infantryman ahead, and he's moving in, which is, yeah, you don't want to be a man down and against the defender's advantage, because you're going to lose. And he's checking out his oil derrick here. I'm guarding it as well. I've got a couple of riflemen here. But his engineer, look, it's moving. It is moving up. And my engineer's capturing, but he's taking fire. So I've moved him away. And I thought, why did I do that? Sent him back. But a tiny little bullet, extra shot, would have killed him. So these guys should be here. But here comes the enemy's engineer. I just need that view range, and I've got the... Oh, look, his engineer ran into his death. And now I've moved them up front like they should be. And we're laughing. We're golden. There you go. Let's just look at numbers of infantry. I'm at 16, 17. My opponent's at 23, 24. So he's a few rifles ahead, plus I've killed his engineer. But I'm positioning these rifles here in case the enemy's engineer makes his way to this oil derrick up here. He's captured his first one, obviously. Yeah, look, he's sending rifles to investigate. I haven't got many there now. Well, I'm sending this to check what's going on in case his engineer was left there and forgotten about, because I didn't notice that he ran up here and got shot. Engineers have got low health and are very low health, so they just get gunned down quickly, often before you can tell. But these guys, in between those barrels, are they're asking for it. In fact, yeah, that would be nice to detonate them. Use a flak truck or a ranger. Or better still, a light tank, because then they can shoot at it all they like. Oh, he's getting closer. It would be nice to detonate them now. Base defences. And he's not building now, he's moving out his home base MCV to the expansion. So he's going for a very different kind of build. And let's just look at some army values. 5,000 to me, 4,600 to my opponent. My opponent's got his scout vehicle with him now. And he's set up his expansion because he's using his home base MCV. I'm actually building... Oh, there's a light tank, so... Oh no, sorry, that's my opponent. But I'm building my MCV, so the thing is... I'm not that far behind. And I'm building my second MCV to expand, and I'm not actually that far behind him. And here we go, I'm capturing the second oil derrick now. But I've got scouts all over, and I haven't really encountered much resistance. He's picking some off with his ranger and that, but I'm not noticing much resistance here. But still, go through the basics and operate normally. I don't know, there might be a tech build coming here or something to surprise me. It's happened before, So I'll continue as I mean to go on. I've got my MCV there, the second one. He's got some units escorting him. He's going to move up to expand. My opponent's got his expansion set up, but he is building light tanks. He's got a couple here going on a little journey somewhere. Right. And this area always needs defending. It's important. And he's got a ranger there. Put very good guard units with the size of the view range that they show you. The size of the view range radius. It's excellent. Army value check. 11,000 to 8,000. 11,000 to 9.5 now. We'll need an eco transfer soon. These ore trucks, 3 of them should be moving out by now, just to start harvesting this. It helps if you keep a supply back at base. If things get desperate and you have to fall back, then, you know, the sooner you move out your eco transfer, the better, because you'll have some ore left. And if the situation gets difficult, you know, or the game goes on longer, then you'll always be glad of ore regrowing or having some backup. Now, I'm at 12,000, my opponent's at 13,000. Somehow, he's overtaken me, and I've no idea how he's managed that, but he has. He's probably, I don't know. But he's expanding up here like I used to do, and I've moved to the right side of this expansion, which is on the right, because I started on the left, to cover it properly. So if my opponent wants to raid it, he'll have to go back to the back or come straight through my defences and view range. Now I'm moving these units forward because I want to go on an eco raid and attack his ore trucks. Now that's what I can see, very little, but this is what my opponent can see. Now that is, you can tell there's more there, and by the speed that these ore trucks die, you can tell the strength of their force. He's got 17,000, I've got 15, so he's got a larger army value. And look, these ore trucks are just going to keep moving to their death if you let them. And he doesn't know what's there, so he's sent everything. And that's an example of what's going, of, you know, what your opponent sees. So here we go, look. He's got a lot of light tanks. And I brought 3 heavies with me. Get them into a good screening position, but look at these rocket troops. I saw them and thought, oh my word, what's that all about? So I'm keeping my tanks away from those rocket troops, look, as best I can. Look, as soon as they're within range of those rockets, they're getting pulverised. It's kind of a dance until the point where I had no choice but to just let the tank take it. But he's left mainly with rocket troops. What's that? 5 or 6 rifles? These guys are on move command, and I soon stopped that. But I brought up my APC because that's another screening unit in case he pursued me to make a small ambush here, look. And these guys would be doomed against this because I could just drive that away quickly before it died, and these guys would defeat them because they're mostly rockets. And tanks have arrived anyway. So now, after that battle, I'm at 12,000, my opponent's at 7,700. He's expanded well, he's moved up to here, although you should expand here instead, but it's still, at least he's done it. Let's have a look at his economy. Yeah, we've both got a healthy economy, although my opponent's been smashed down to 3 harvesters, sadly, and he's only got 1 oil derrick now. I don't know why, maybe because I captured it and he destroyed it or something like that. But yeah, I've got 7 ore trucks, and I've built my radar dome now. So, hopefully, I'm building an airfield straight away. That's what I hope. Dvoid, airfield, yep. So that starts the countdown timer on your paratroops and spy plane immediately. So that's why you want an airfield straight away. But it just happens in this case I am building aeroplanes. But here we go. I've sent another small force to see what's going on. And there's base defences here. He can soon replace his light tank losses, and he's got big chunks of troops, look. And these tanks, I thought, get them away from the rockets, but allow them to be close enough to destroy these light tanks. And look, he's got no rocket troops, but I thought, well, why kind of waste those? I'll move them back. But now I'm at 18,000, my opponent's at 6,000, 7,000. So, yes, it's not looking good. He's in a bad way. And he's fought well up to this point. Look at that. You know, the army graph says it all. He has fought well, and I couldn't beat him by standard units, which is why I built a radar dome and a tech centre as quickly as possible. And I've already got V2s, and where you have V2s, you should have flak trucks to defend them. It's just the best way, because a lot of opponents will build aircraft or something like flak trucks or light tanks. When they see you have V2s or artillery, they'll build a counter unit. So the quickest way to counter them is to build an air unit and snipe them. But you need flak trucks, and it not only defends them against air units and things, but other units that might attack from behind and things like light tanks moving around the back. They'll at least warn you. And I've got 3 thieves here, an engineer, my original APC is here, so I'm going to put these specialist units inside the APC so that when I attack I can move quickly to the first vulnerable target that I can use these units on, like their refinery or a fleeing MCV. If it flees, I'll get that APC to stop ahead of it, and as it's driving past I'll press F and 3 thieves are going to come out, and that MCV belongs to me then. And if it does deploy, then the engineers will steal it. It's just like a Doom APC. And if it gets away, I'll just use it on his refinery and triple infiltrate him. So there's no problems. I just need more heavy tanks is all. But I've got 5 to lead the way, my units. I've got Tesla troops, look. I've got my V2s, an aircraft, flak trucks, and Tesla soldiers are now, Tesla shock troops are now joining the battle. So he can see his troops getting lightning bolts, killing them. There you go, look, zap zap. And his units are doomed. V2s raining down, Tesla bolts, bullets, shells, aircraft circling overhead. Look, this ranger came along and just gets vaporized by lightning bolts. And he's called it. I don't blame him. I've got like a full-on elite force there, a full-on assault force. Now, I don't have an MCV with it, but it's a mobile assault force. That's why, because normally you would want to have an MCV with it, but there aren't many troops. It's half vehicles that, so I could have those vehicles escape and fight properly if I needed to. But because I've got a small group of units of infantry and stuff with them, they have got the firepower to destroy bases and expansions. Plus, with the APC, I was driving it there, look. So he was going to park there, drive up and infiltrate any refineries that were here. So it was ready, well and truly ready. And I've got barracks at the front lines anyway, look. And I could have brought the MCV forward. If I just look at what I'm building, yeah, I've got a war factory ready to place. A 3rd war factory. So how long does it take to build, what do you call it, a Tesla tank? It takes 25 seconds at this point. But if I had a 3rd one, it'd probably be about 21 seconds, I'm guessing, to build a Tesla tank. And I have got my first one has rolled out, and I've got my shock troops over here, look. But only a small group of them, and you saw the impact they had. They auto hit. You can't miss with them, so they are an extremely special unit. But I'll go through the graphs and charts anyway for that one. And look, like I say, the army graph shows you it all quite equal in size, army size. And we both suffered losses from the first engagement, but, you know, I adapted and soon churned that out. Because I saw he wasn't attacking back. It would have wasted all of his strength to try and do so, to be fair. And here's the earnings graph. I'm just ahead of my opponent for earnings. Army, my finishing army, an aeroplane. I've got 2 Tesla tanks, 2 V2s, 3 heavy tanks left, 2 mobile flaks, my APC, 5 shock troopers, 3 thieves, a couple of flamers, a couple of engineers. That's 17 rocket soldiers and about 50-something, 51 rifles roughly. Right, I've got a 26,000 army value, so it's a good finishing force, not bad. I killed 159 units, my opponent killed 104. I lost 0 structures. Now, how did my opponent lose 0 structures? Did he just call it before I destroyed any then? Great. Okay, weird. Support powers, I've got paratroops and spy planes ticking down because I've got my airfield. Production, yeah, my third war factory, Tesla coils, because if I lose these 2 Tesla coils, they're in low power at the moment because I don't want them putting everything else into low power. But when you have a Tesla coil, it allows you to build Tesla tanks and Tesla troops. Now, if you only build one and your opponent destroys it, you can't build Tesla units anymore. So it might completely stop your vehicle production by losing a single Tesla coil. So you need to be mindful of that. Economy, we saw I've earned 87, my opponent earned 61. 7 ore trucks left. I've got no money, but my opponent has, so he hasn't done that bad. Now at 31 actions per minute, my opponent's at 37, and there you go, destroyed 41,000 to 24,000 to my opponent. Yeah, not bad, not bad. But there you go, there's the second game. I thought I'd add it to the first one, just for a bit of more extra content. I don't get to show Tesla units very often, and they only just started to have an impact on the battle, but I believe they were they had a direct effect on my opponent calling it, because who wants them when you've already been beaten? It's just like, okay, I think that's what was going on there. The appearance of these guys, you know. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed the games, and they're the first 2 games of the day. I've had a few more, so I've got a few more that I could possibly post soon. But if you like what you saw, give us a sub and a like, and take good care of yourselves, and until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.